Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, the Hood Nerd, back again. And this troubling story comes again out of my backyard. And see, people have a hard time understanding why I don't have a big problem when cops shoot or kill civilians who resist arrest. Because a routine traffic stop happened last night in the West Inglewood area in Chicago, and that female cop is not going back home. And see, people who've never been in those situations, it's easy for them to play Monday morning quarterback and say the wouldas, shouldas, and couldas, and they need to be trained to do this way and that way. Just like that. As quick as you just heard my finger snap, that's how quick it takes for a bullet to leave the gun and into your body. And that's it. You don't really have the time. I know people the media loves to sensationalize all this, and they want to show it in slow motion and make you feel like it was 9-10 seconds. It's really just like that. And somebody's life over. And see, for me is I'm getting back home to my family. My job is not to make sure you get back home. I'm not giving my life for you. I don't want to be a martyr. And that's what this cop is now, a martyr. 2 Chicago police officers were shot Saturday night in the West Inglewood neighborhood on the south side, according to the Chicago police. One of the officers, a woman, has died, according to the CPD. The other is fighting for his life, First Deputy Superintendent Eric Carter said at a news conference early Sunday morning. Our hearts ache for the loss of life, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said at the news conference. The officer was the first cop to be shot and killed in the line of duty since Lightfoot became mayor in 2019. Last year, the deaths of 4 other Chicago cops who succumbed to COVID-19 were also considered by the police department to be in the line of duty. Yeah, well, that's them juicing the stats. I'm not going that far with that. Prior to Saturday night, but I get it. Still get your pension, so I get why they did it that way. The family will get the benefits, but prior to Saturday night, though, the last of the line of duty deaths of Chicago cops who were killed while pursuing a suspect were in December 2018 when Officer Eduardo Marmahalo and Conrad Gary were fatally struck by a train as they looked for a suspect wanted for illegally possessing a gun. The suspect, Edward Brown, was sentenced this past April to a year in prison for a felony weapons violation in the case. This shooting happened just after 9 p.m. last night. When the officers conducted the traffic stop, Carter said there were 3 people in the vehicle, 2 males, 1 female. During the stop, someone opened fire on the officers and the officers returned fire. Carter said 2 officers and 1 of the suspects were shot. The officers were taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center. Police spokesman Tom Ahern wrote in a tweet. Tom Ahern. 2 males are in custody and 1 suspect. The female is still at large, Ahern said. The male suspect who was shot was taken to Christ Hospital. 1 handgun was recovered from the scene. The officer who died worked for the CPD since 2018 and was a member of the community safety team. A citywide unit formed last summer under Police Superintendent David Brown to respond to crime hotspots. Numerous marked and unmarked police vehicles with their lights flashing blocked off traffic along West 63rd for 3 or 4 blocks heading west and on side streets all around the scene. Now, what people have to understand is how dangerous the Inglewood area is. And you're asking cops who probably aren't from this area or that area to go into the belly of the beast, be brave, be strong, and go perform your duties every night. If I'm cops, since all of these liberals and all of these politicians Everybody keeps screaming defund the police. For a lot of these dangerous neighborhoods, if I'm the cops, I'm saying that's fine. Handle your own business in this neighborhood then. Since you believe we're bothered, we don't know how to do our job. Why don't the community who raised these criminals, these savages, why don't y'all deal with it? And see, that's the real problem nobody wants to talk about. Nature versus nurture. We know they weren't born this way. So who nurtured this? Who nurtured this behavior? The community nurtured this behavior. But the second you kill them, the community will turn back at you and say, oh man, I remember when he was a good kid. Yeah, 20 years ago. 17 years ago, we'll have that conversation. I remember when he was a good kid. But who's keeping control of that savage now? Why are these neighborhoods, why are the parents not being held responsible for the bang up job that they've done? This young girl who was involved in this, if nobody rat or snitch on her, she'll get away with it. And you know why? Because the same women who are screaming to defund the police will harbor their own children and protect them and make sure that they don't get arrested. And you know what they'll come to you and say? Let the police do their job. Cool then. Cool. I don't have any problems anymore. Like I said, I lost faith in humanity a long time ago. I really don't have a problem anymore if the police would just come out one day and say, yo, we just gonna police outside of a lot of these neighborhoods. You guys want these neighborhoods to be like this. Since the community has no problem with this type of behavior, they don't want to aid and assist us in getting these people off the streets, then the hell with it. Whatever happened to you guys happens to you guys. And at some point, either people will get tired of it and start turning these savages in. I'm not going to even call them children, because that's what you've done. You've raised a generation and a community full of savages, the last 2 generations. And see, everybody wants to keep blaming it on, no, it's poverty, it's systematic racism. You got to understand, I don't want to hear that shit, man. I don't want to hear the excuses for why it is what it is. Damn it, it is though. That's all it is. That it is. It's the same as when I tell you guys about getting the COVID shot. I don't care if they created it in the lab or how it got here. The point is, it's here now. Either deal with it, don't deal with it. But when it comes knocking at your front door, since you don't want to deal with these savages, don't come crawling out the house crying. Don't come outside with your bonnets on and your long ass bathrobes or gowns on, with your hospital shoes on, saying my baby ain't hurt nobody. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, and y'all know it. You got a lot of young women sleeping with knucklehead young boys, all being raised by who? Exactly. Nobody wants to have that conversation either. All of these children have been raised by who? Nobody wants to have that conversation either. And I was talking to somebody close to me yesterday. We had this conversation literally yesterday morning about when black men and black women can come together and move forward. Black men not interested until black women hold themselves accountable for the damage they have done the last 50 years. There's just no goddamn way of getting around that shit anymore. You can't get around it. All of this you see, they come from the homes of who? These great single mothers that we laud and applaud. These same women we saying, oh man, they going to college, they doing this, and you're raising savages, menaces to society, have come out of your womb. You cultivated this behavior. You have. This is what you led. And you want me to sit back and follow. You keep saying we've done a bang up job. A bang up job doing what? 3 and 4 year old kids can't even come outside and sit on the damn porch and play anymore because of the environment you have cultivated. Now, of course, you're going to say, hey, yo, don't blame it all on me. What about the father? Damn it, who picked the father? Who wanted to go sleep with him? Instead of you aborting that baby, hell, you didn't and aborted damn near 50 million other babies. Why wouldn't you abort? This should be the main one you would want to abort. But we won't get to that point. And you know why we won't get to that point? Because these women ain't looked in the mirror at their goddamn self since the 1960s. And you know why? Because they don't like what they see. They don't want to see exactly what it is they looking at in the mirror. And it's why I told you, you see the evolution of her time in and time out. From the little smart girl with the pigtails to when she get to her teenage years, she looking for the boy with the dirty dreads, selling drugs, hat broke to the left, hat broke to the right, out here participating in gang activities. To her late teens, early 20s, she's having children with him, his buddies, and a few other cats because she's just looking for fast money at that point. To her late 20s, now is I'm getting serious about life. I want to go to school. To her mid 30s, I ain't even looking for all that childish stuff no more. Now I want a nerd. Wait a minute, shorty. Do you understand the damage you've done the last 13 years to that boy's brain with the men you've brought around? Him and your daughter? Do you understand the child you have already created? So yeah, at 40, 45 years old, you've evolved. But you've created little fucking gremlins at this point. Gizmos. You know what? Man, damn it, it done happened again. I tell you, man, when I go on these rants, it's the craziest thing. But that's what she is. She is Gizmo. And the second you ejaculate in her and get her pregnant, what does she produce? Gremlins. Gremlins. That's what she had. That's what she has created. Gremlins. And you'll get a strike who comes out periodically. He gonna lead all the other little boys, and they gonna terrorize the community. But what did you see in the movie Gremlins? Gizmo was ground zero. He was cool. But you get Gizmo wet, and what happened? Mugwai. Exactly. The little gremlins come out. Until you women are able to sit down and realize the damage you have done, when you sitting around these funerals, holding these other mothers saying, it's terrible what's going on out here. The police ain't doing their job. No, damn it, you ain't doing your job. All of this shit starts at you. You are ground zero for this. And it ain't no other way to look at it anymore. So from here on out, I see I'm going to just have to start highlighting it day in and day out. Exactly what's going on out here. And who produced it. Because ground zero comes from who? Like y'all said, y'all the closest thing to God. That's what y'all told me. Y'all the child's first teacher. Nobody can raise a child better than his mother. So since nobody can do that, nobody has done that, we don't need a man to raise a child. You're going to now have to explain to me why this cop can't go home tonight. You're going to have to explain to me why 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds are getting shot at an alarming rate across this goddamn country. You're going to have to explain to me why Ahmaud Arbery is being hailed as a martyr when there's videos all over the place of the boy doped out and cracked out and stealing from places. You're going to have to explain to me why a mural of George Floyd is sitting on the bench and we glorifying it, and he's sitting here in damn near bronze with his legs crossed with a goddamn wife beater on, in a hat, a fitted hat, crooked, broke off. You're going to have to explain to me how this shit makes sense to y'all. You're going to have to make sense to me and help me understand when you say child support is for the fathers who don't do shit. The fathers who don't do shit can't be on child support because you can't find the motherfucker. You're going to have to explain to me how you women justify being friends with women who play around with their children's lives and keep them from their fathers. The ones who are trying to be in their lives. But because they don't want to lay down with them and be in a relationship and be in that toxic environment anymore, I'm going to hit them where it hurt. I'm going to make life hard for them. You're going to have to explain to me why mothers of sons are siding with baby mothers because they say they understand that lifestyle better. What fucking world are we in right now? We're in a fucking Twilight Zone? You're going to have to explain this shit to me. And see, a lot of women who listen to this, you keep coming back, you email me. I get these comments on some of these YouTube videos. You're a little harsh. Maybe you should soften up your tone. I'm done softening up my tone. What I need you to do is turn around and look in the mirror and look at your sister to the left of you and to the right of you and say, look at what the fuck we did. Look at it. You did a bang up job. See, we do a lot of laughing and joking and it's cool. He was a bad man. He was a terrible man. Yet I'm listening to men out here say, I wouldn't sleep with her. She's a whore. And she's a terrible mother because she got 5 baby fathers and 8 kids. And yeah, I know my mother got 6 kids and 4 baby fathers, but she was different. No, my man, she was a hoe too. You got to just call it like it is now, man. I ain't gonna let none of y'all rock with this no more, man. I can't. Because if I let y'all keep rocking with this and riding with a lot of this stuff, it ain't gonna be no change, man. And like I said, a lot of people want to have a lot of these conversations, but nobody want to get they don't want to get to the root of these issues. I'm listening to a guy on YouTube yesterday, man. And he's saying how great of a job his mother did raising him and his sisters. And you hear all of these sad stories of, yo, it's 6 or 7 of us, and all of us got different fathers. But she did the best she could. She just had bad luck with men. Is it bad luck with men? Or she was who she was? Why do the men have to keep taking the rap when she's just choosing ain't shit niggas? I'm watching this earlier. Hell, I might as well just turn this whole thing into this now. I done went on a rant already. I'm watching a woman out here yesterday talk about how she tricked the guy into marrying her and having his baby just so she could be set up and taken care of for the next 18 years. So she can have money to supplement her own income. So she don't really have to work that hard. You got to understand one day, dog, a lot of this stuff is what this is because we will not hold this black queen accountable for her actions, man. We just won't. It's your boy, the Hood Nerd, man. I'm out.